Okay, so this is uncomfortable for a lot of reasons. You'll find out why in a moment. What do you do? I mean, this is basically lying. We're going to either have to lie or tell the truth up front.
Which both are not going to go over well.
Yep. Okay, Susan, tell us the whole story, and then listeners will call in with great advice. Right, everyone? Right? We're going to call in with good advice for her?
Yes.
Right. 651-989-5795. Go ahead, Susan.
So I've been keeping a secret from my family for a while.
Mm-hmm.
My entire family lives back in Utah, and I haven't been back since the pandemic started. I wanted a new life just for myself, away from all the judginess, away from the expectations of my parents. And so I got a great job.
Let me guess, as a stripper.
Wait a minute.
No, not that.
Okay.
I made awesome friends, but then recently I met a guy, and he's not exactly the kind of guy my parents would approve of.
Does he have a lot of tattoos and piercings?
No, I think they'd be scared for my life.
They would be scared for your life if they knew who you were dating?
Yeah, but the great thing about the pandemic is that I haven't had to lie to my parents about why we can't come home because travel restrictions did it for me. But now everyone's vaccinated, and my family is pushing for me to come for Thanksgiving and bring my boyfriend because I haven't met him or spoken to him or seen him. But there's a good reason for that because he's in prison.
What?
Oh, you're dating an inmate. Gosh, I should have guessed that.
Yeah, stripper first, then inmate.
Yeah.
He's getting out at the end of the month. He served a rather lengthy sentence, and I was taught to never stand in judgment of another, but it's hard knowing someone you love committed a crime. This all started when my church group volunteered at prisons to help restore the faith in those that lost their way, and Damien was a lost soul. And I mean, after a lot of work and therapy and prayer and unconditional love, he has healed. I know it. I feel it in my heart and my soul.
Oh, boy. Hold on, Susan.
Oh,
So
man.
you reformed this guy and fell in love with him and think that it's safe to be around him. So you say he committed a crime. Are we talking a white-collar crime or violent crime?
It was a violent crime. I mean, he resorted to violence to express his emotions because nobody taught him any other way.
Mm-hmm.
But he's different now.
Okay, of course, that's what you're going to say.
I believe in him. I mean, my family would freak out,
Yes.
especially my dad. I haven't told my parents, but Damien proposed to me, and I said yes.
Oh, so it's not just a dating thing. You're engaged.
Yeah. They also don't know that Damien is Catholic, and to be honest, I'm not sure what would be worse.
Oh, no. No. You've got to be kidding me.
Oh, gosh.
You are dating a Catholic? Shut up.
Shut up right now.
That would be worse for your parents? Really?
I don't know what would be worse. I think if I bring him home, I'd have to lie about everything.
Yeah.
And Damien prefers it that way. Like, he would prefer I lie. He wants a fresh chance at life, and I completely understand that. I don't know what to do. I mean, maybe I secretly tell my parents, or is it none of their business?
Oh.
What would the Pope say?
Well, Damien did say we wouldn't have to get married in the Catholic Church, so.
I love that we are hung up on that detail.
Right.
That's my favorite. Hey, babe, don't worry. We don't have to go to some Catholic church and get married. We can do it anywhere you want.
Yeah, he's Catholic. He knows how long a Catholic wedding is. They're not short.
Yeah, nobody wants to sit through that.
So we're going to just lie about all of this stuff, about where you met, how you met, all of it.
Yeah, I think so.
You're going to have to fabricate a story now
Right.
about how you guys met. Oh, and you're going to have to omit a major detail of his life. You know, I feel like if these people truly have recovered and, gone through this process, that they should be proud of that.
Absolutely. I'm sure he's worked very, very hard. And I do feel like you believe in him and you want to marry him. But I just feel like you don't want to have your life started out with lies.
Yeah, I mean, it's a concern.
And P.S., doesn't this feel like it's moved very quickly? You were out there as a shepherd bringing in these lost sheep, and now all of a sudden you're marrying one. He's proposed to you, and he's still in prison. This just really has red flag written all over it.
Yeah.
And not to mention, he's a Pope lover.
Yeah. Oh, no, not a Pope lover.
I mean, come on. This just... maybe I'm the old-fashioned one here, and it's like, oh, love is love, whatever. But wouldn't you want time on the outside with him
Yes.
before you know if you can be a couple?
You've lived zero life together.
We're not getting married tomorrow, but, my family wants to see my boyfriend.
Well, maybe he has a work meeting this over Thanksgiving.
List. Red flag. My mom works at a prison. And while some people can change, some of them are truly manipulative.
Oh.
Get to know this guy. Definitely know him more before you marry him. At least tell your parents that you're engaged. I mean, you're going to know something is up since you didn't even tell them you were dating.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the situation with Susan. We just talked to her. She was working in some religious capacity, I guess. Like not recruitment, but...
like going into prisons and trying to teach them, the word of God and trying to reform them, to help them.
And so for the lost sheep, and then what do you know? She falls in love with one guy, Damien, and she's engaged.
Yep.
Her parents live in Utah. They have no idea she's engaged. Yep. And she's wondering, do I tell them that he was in prison for a violent crime, but he's found his way? He's good now. We have nothing to worry about. Seriously, what do you do? Cassie, you would list the guy.
Yes, I would very much so list the guy. Just because of personal experience, I have actually dated a man who was in prison, and I knew the guy before he even went into prison. And when he got out, everything that he said and did and believed while he was in prison ended up being completely false. And all he really focused on when he got out was the fact that he was free and he got to just live again. So he just didn't care anymore about the promises he made. It was just, I'm free, I want to do what I want, and this is a second chance at life.
So things may change once he's on the outside, and she may not love him the way she does now. Okay, let's get to Angie in St. Paul. You're a parole officer, and you have a thought on this?
Yes, one of the things is that he will need permission to leave the state from his parole officer.
Oh.
They may also want to contact her parents to make sure there's no guns in the house. I don't know if he has restrictions on alcohol or drugs, contact with minors.
Wow.
So oftentimes we have to check on those things before we give them permission to leave the state.
So she's just being foolish.
Yes, absolutely. And she better have another plan to tell her parents because he most likely will not be able to go.
Oh, interesting. So the parole officer won't let him go for Thanksgiving.
And I mean, sometimes we have to check the residents, check with the people to make sure our clients can be there, before we just give them permission to leave the state. So another thing to think of.
What if he already knew that and he was just saying, well, I'll just stay at your place then? And he was going to case the joint.
That could be a violation of his parole, and he could be looking at going back to prison. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah. No, he's not going to risk that. Okay. Thank you, Angie. Very interesting. Libby's in Plymouth. You would say love him, but why?
Well, I have a friend who actually went through this. She actually met her now husband actually online and met him while he was in prison. She's been divorced twice. She's a very religious person. And the day before she was going to go marry him, she stayed at my house and flew out of Minneapolis. And she told me she was going to go out and marry this person that was in prison. And I of course, supported her. And he just got out 3 months ago, and she has never been happier. They're totally in love. He totally rehabilitated himself while he was in prison. He's, very religious as well. She's never been happier.
Okay, I mean that's a success story.
Yeah, but I feel like there's not as many success stories as there are the alternative.
Well, what if we talk to Julie, who married a guy who is in prison?
Hi there.
So you never told your parents the truth about this guy, or that you even married him? What didn't you tell them?
They knew I married him, and in fact, my parents absolutely loved him, adored him. He was the one that sat next to my mother when she passed away. Thought it was her son she had, and didn't remember her brother, who was her favorite. They can be, and I'm not going to say my husband has narcissistic personality disorder, which is something that is common with this type of person. Okay, and they're charming, you're in heaven. Like truly, when they're on their game, you are absolutely in heaven. But if they turn on you, or if they get upset, there's a reaction that it's ingrained. They can't fix. You can't fix or change who you are as a person any easier than you can fix who you are. I can strive to be better every day and to remember to bite my tongue so it makes life easier. You can acquire different skills, which he has done things differently than he used to.
Mm-hmm.
But you can't expect that this person is all of a sudden not this person, I guess is my best way to say. And so she's saying, well, they should fear for her. They're afraid she should feel for her life. She should feel for her life.
Okay, and do you support the idea of telling her parents then? Because that's what she needs to know.
No, you don't need to tell your parents right now. No, no. Your parents, my parents, we were with my parents every single weekend. They were like our best friends. They luckily never found out what he went to prison for. My dad asked me once, and I said, it's not mine to tell. If you want to have that conversation with him, you go ahead. And they never did. And
but what about the Catholic thing? How do we feel about that, Julie?
Well, my husband is Italian, and he's the Roman Catholic.
Yeah. I'm just kidding, actually. We don't have to wait on that.
She's like, well, I mean, I can't imagine being married to somebody who went to prison and then never telling my parents what it was. Mm-hmm. Like, that wouldn't go over well in my family.
No.
They might forgive.
Yeah.
And we'd be fine with it, but I mean, wow.
Wow is right. The fact that a Catholic is so willing to marry outside the church seems like a big red flag to me. Well, he committed a violent crime and went to prison, so I feel like marrying outside the church is probably not a huge deal. Can you imagine if that's where he draws the line?
I don't care what violent crime he did. How dare you?
Oh, okay. So I thought this would be a slam dunk.
I did too. I thought they'd be like, oh, this is terrible. List.
Well, we know he's not going to be able to leave the state. So the Thanksgiving thing's not an option.
Yep.
You don't have to tell your parents yet. Why don't you explore what your relationship looks like outside of prison? And then see if you do want to continue on.
Yes, this is going to be a whole new ball game.
Yeah, things are going to change when it's just the two of you outside of jail.
And you're seeing them all the time.
All right, let's leave it there. It's 8:07.
Every new Toyota comes with peace of mind standard. That's because you get Toyota Care no-cost maintenance when you buy or lease any new Toyota. Toyota Care covers normal factory scheduled service for 2 years or 25,000 miles, whichever comes first, as well as 24-hour roadside assistance and lockout protection. See your Toyota dealer for details and exclusions. Valid only in the continental U.S. and Alaska. We make it easy on you. Toyota, let's go places. Every new Toyota comes with peace of mind standard. That's because you get Toyota Care no-cost maintenance when you buy or lease any new Toyota. Toyota Care covers normal factory scheduled service for 2 years or 25,000 miles, whichever comes first, as well as 24-hour roadside assistance and lockout protection. See your Toyota dealer for details and exclusions. Valid only in the continental U.S. and Alaska. We make it easy on you. Toyota, let's go places.